here.
No, it's not. It's mine.
No, you have two.
No, I do not.
I don't.
You have to share.
Does this work?
Yeah, can you guys hear them okay?
Yeah. Is this working?
If we can raise up the microphone just a little bit. All right, so we're just going to jump right into it. Obviously, here at Spooky, we love all things horror, and Child's Play has been terrifying people for, what, like 38 years now? I mean, we're getting up to almost 40, so how does that feel for y'all to be here, to look out into the sea of people and know how much you guys have impacted our little horror lives?
I think we feel really grateful. Very grateful to all of you guys for supporting us for 40 fucking years.
I can't see you. I know there's a lot of you. I can feel you though.
And I was also going to ask Ashley and Allie, is this your first convention ever?
Yeah.
It is.
Yes, it is.
Welcome. Yeah, a big round of applause for this generation, of course.
I finally got her here.
He's never asked.
I can't bullshit around her. She'll nail me every time.
How's your first convention been so far?
It's really fun. This is a great experience. I really didn't know what to expect, but it's been super fun. Everybody's so nice, and I can't believe everybody's interested in my autograph. So thank you for
And I also wanted to say, what do you think it is about, obviously, like, this franchise keeps evolving in so many ways, from movies to the incredible TV show as well. And from what I hear, possibly a future coming up as well. Can you tell us about the future of Chucky?
I can tell you almost nothing.
Okay.
But yes, I'm writing a new movie now. And that's it.
He pitched it to me and Fiona, and we kind of went crazy. Yeah.
You're not
I was
biased
like,
at all.
I'll do anything to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's really good and new. Wait, sorry.
I feel like it's also new. It's like, it struck me as a very new iteration of the movie, which is cool because there's been so many, but I think it's a testament to why this franchise still has so many fans, is that you're very good at not repeating. Yeah.
I have a very short attention span.
And Brad, what is it that keeps drawing you back to this role of Chucky? Because from what I heard, you're mostly, mostly retired, but I know you'll never let Chucky say goodbye.
Yeah, nobody's doing Chucky but me. I think the great thing about Chucky is that he truly, deeply loves his job. You laugh, it's true.
Quite good at it as well. Okay, so like I said, since we don't have so much time, let's get right to questions from y'all. So we do have a microphone right up front. So who is our first willing victim? Come on down. Hello.
I'll go. Yeah, you kind of almost answered it, but I was gonna ask, seeing all the mixed reactions to like the Nightmare on Elm Street reboot attempt, and then obviously with the attempted reboot in 2019 of Child's Play.
I love the use of the word attempted.
Is it one of those things that I guess the main thing is so you've been doing this for, as you said, almost 40 years now. Is everything else a cheap imitation after this? Like when you're done, and that's the end of Child's Play, or?
I don't think we want to stop. I mean, I can't speak for everyone here, but I feel like we'd all be happy to keep doing it as long as you guys want it,
Hell yeah.
or till we all drop dead.
It is important to make it new.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And that's, I mean, thank God that's Don's job. No.
Yeah.
And he does it spectacularly, I think, anyway.
I think so too. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Hello? Oh, okay. Hi. So real quick, it's my birthday today, so.
Happy
Thank you. But I was wondering, what's your favorite version of Chucky? Like
Me?
All of y'all.
You mean the look of the doll?
Yes, like the stitches, the old version.
It's hard to pick. I feel like initially the best Chucky ever looked was in Child's Play 2. I love the look of it. And during the TV series, we were, trying to replicate that look, and I feel like that the puppeteers, like certainly by season 2, like really got it. And I think, and partly because we did 3 seasons in a row, all of us in our various departments were in shape. And I think that's one of the reasons the show was good, because we were all in shape. We were just, doing, we did 24 hours of Chucky material over the course of 3 years. So anyway, that's my very long-winded answer to your question.
I liked old Chucky. Withered old Chucky.
I like the first Chucky. I like the Jack Nicholson Chucky. I like the receding hair. Jack Nicholson.
I agree with Don. I think the part 2 doll was perfect. I liked the Cult of Chucky, good guy, a lot. And the TV show, yeah, he just had too many to choose. They're all good.
I think I know Ashley's answer.
My favorite Chucky would be the one that I was. But I enjoyed Child's Play 2 the most because the set was so much fun. Like running around and playing. I was a little bit older, so I would say that playful Chucky.
Does anybody remember the giant dream Chucky?
Yeah.
That was Colt, right? Yeah. That sometimes creeps into my actual dreams, so I'm gonna go with that.
I also love good Chucky. As a character,
yeah.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm kind of starstruck, so give me a sec. Don, I miss you with long hair, but love you anyway. I would love to ask each and every one of you a question, but I don't have time for that. Brad, it's going to have to be you because of the question. As a horror fan and a Trek fan, can you give us any kind of anecdotes or any kind of stories from playing Lon Suter on Star Trek Voyager?
Yeah, the unfortunate.
Oh yeah, tragic. Sorry. I think. Well, first of all, doing that kind of Spockish language, which I eventually had to do, was more fun than humans, as they say, are allowed to have. I mean, I just really got into that, and. The other thing was that I remember was that I had to wear black contacts to make my eyes black, and they hurt like the dickens. So that's the bad part. But yeah, that character kind of took off a little.
Yeah. It was to see a serial killer on Star Trek was really kind of cool. So
yeah, kind of really on a, maybe we should do a Star Trek Chucky. Because you're stuck on a ship.
Feels like regarding Chucky in space, like my impression is that like 50% are into it and 50% say, please God, no.
It didn't work for Jason.
Thank you, Brad, and thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Hello.
So, Christine, you like guys with receding hairlines then, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway, just because I don't know if we'll get a chance to ask you this question, Brad, but how have you been feeling recently about the resurgence of popularity for Exorcist 3?
I don't know. I live upstate New York in a house that, nobody comes to, and that's fine. I had no idea.
He's like a credible hermit. I can get him to call me back sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you aren't always quick to call back
Yeah,
either.
that's true. All right. No, Dad.
Open purse. Okay. That's it.
Yeah, I'm not aware.
You really?
Yeah, really.
It's quite popular.
Because he kicks ass.
Yes. You really?
You know what? It was a much better movie than it was given credit for at the beginning, and I think there's much more of Blatty's original cut in what they're showing now. and it's better. I mean, they kind of ruined it. No. You haven't heard the rest of it. They kind of ruined it because they did this study and they said they needed an exorcism, and the exorcism was kind of like a music video, and I think George C. Scott said if Madonna doesn't come out and sing a song at the end of this thing, the folks are going to hate it. So it lost what it was originally meant to be, and I think they've got that back a lot.
I could definitely see Like a Prayer being played over that sequence. That's your point.
Thank you.
Say it wasn't.
That was great.
Hello, everyone. So my question is for Don and Brad too. So after 7 movies and a television series, what is one thing about Chucky that you still feel hasn't been fully explored yet and that excites you moving forward, especially with this new movie that's in the works?
If we knew the answer to that question, we wouldn't tell you. It would be a movie. That's honest, but I'll let you take it.
Well, I think you'll get your answer in the next movie. I think, but we just, we don't want to give it away yet. I think you'll dig it.
Fair enough.
I definitely don't want to let anyone down. I mean, that's what, as I've been meeting people, today and yesterday, it's like, what do you guys want out of Chucky? What characters do you want back? We try to listen to the fans. My sense is everyone wants it to be quite scary.
Right. Well, thank you.
You're right.
Hello. Oh my goodness. A baby cosplay. Okay.
I got to follow up you with saying people wanted it to be scary. I prefer comedy Chucky myself. I was wondering if y'all could tell me your favorite Chucky one-liners.
God, there's so many. I mean, they're so brilliant, all of them. I mean, one of the things I've been writing a lot on posters today, because I think the consensus fan favorite of all the films seems to be Child's Play 2. So I've been writing a lot of one of my favorite lines from that movie is when Chucky says to Andy, "Snap out of it, you act like you never seen a dead body before." It's hard to pick just one.
You're the man.
Fuck you.
I really like a Alex Vincent line that I saw too young, but it scared me, and it was, "Aunt Maggie, Chucky wants to watch the 9 o'clock movie."
You got one, right? Oh, wait.
Yeah, there's just way too many to choose from. He especially in the TV series, he had a lot of really funny lines that cracked me up. I can tell you the one that made me laugh the most in person. It wasn't a line, it was an action. And it was in episode 3, season 3, while I'm strapped to a bed and about to be murdered. And
in a dream.
And I had the line, because the puppeteers, they've gotten so good that they can just improvise a lot of his facial expressions and stuff. And I had that line, "Killing is wrong." And Chucky's inches away from my face and he goes, and I did not know he was going to do that. And I cracked right up.
No, I think maybe, I think it would be Chucky. Aunt Maggie is a real bitch, and she got what she deserved.
Tom Holland wrote that line, to be fair. Did she give him credit? It's a great line.
Or this is the end, Brad, before you threw this.
Well, that's mine.
I think the one that comes up for me just about every day is "Park this piece of shit."
That's to Kyle, right?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, he was trying to hand the knife to the baby the whole time.
Hi. Oh my god, I'm so nervous. My voice is shaking. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of horror movies, Chucky, of course. I'm also a huge fan of music, and I would love to know, for Brad and Fiona or anyone else, if there was any specific music that you listen to get into character.
What a great question.
Yeah. I know a lot of actors who
I know a lot of actors who listen to music, and they have earphones and it helps them get into it. I don't do that because I'm musically inept. Yeah, I know a lot of actors. Did anybody here?
I have such a cool answer to this because it was such a cool band and I can't remember their name right now, and I'm so sorry. But yeah, the cool thing about Chucky, or to the extent I played him, was he was having so much fun. He was so liberated. So there was this like kind of loud, almost metal music that I had that I was playing. I can't sing it, and I can't remember the name of it. But it would make me sound so cool because it was a really cool band.
Rob Zombie?
No, they're not that. They weren't that famous. No, man. Anyway, I ruined it, but it was a really cool answer, and you guys, I would have gotten street
Sing
cred.
it for us.
Ahmed?
What about you guys
I
down there?
listened driving to and from Santa Clarita for Child's Play 2. I listened almost exclusively to Tom Waits. I also had a weird Tom Waits. Yeah, can you believe it?
That does not feel very Chucky.
Well, Tom Waits. But I also had this really weird idea that I was going to die on that drive, and I kept thinking, I hope it happens later in the movie, so there's enough of me shot already, so I don't get recast. That's really true, and I don't know why I was obsessed with dying on the way to that movie.
It was a scary drive because it was like an hour drive north of LA, and there were times like when we're driving home, like at 6 in the morning, and you're tired and it's dangerous. So thank God you survived.
Well, if I can answer for Ashley first. She was 3 years old, but it must have been Run Like Hell by Pink Floyd.
That's a good one.
And for me, if I happen to listen to music to get in the mood, I think more than half of this crowd could say it in unison right now.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For ER, it was Alanis Morissette's first album. I listened to that exclusively on my season. ER, yeah.
Okay, I want to thank all of you for making my youth so creepy. I threw away my Barbies after Chucky. So my question is for Fiona, the one that made you cry. What do you prefer to do, horror or medical?
Oh my God. Oh man.
Hey, her boss is right here.
I love her Chucky. I want her in Chucky.
And I love the Pit. As she knows, I like
I want her in
sincerely
Chucky,
love
but I
it,
really
and
want
she's
her.
amazing in it. So you can't answer incorrectly. It's okay.
There is a lot of gore in both, let's say. Yeah, I don't know. I feel probably more identified with the horror community. I got a chance to be in what I think is going to be a really cool horror movie in the hiatus that I just wrapped called Head Full of Ghosts. I don't know. It's like the Misfits, right? I feel like it's a gathering of very cool misfits that I'm like really honored to be a part of. So probably everything. Just somebody hire me. You know what I mean? Just everybody hire me.
Okay, I love you in Chucky, but don't leave the Pit.
I won't, believe me.
So over the years, there's been kind of like a man versus God subplot with Chucky, with involving the voodoo. Which each movie it kind of works for him or against him. He has certain limits he has to fight against, and especially since Cult of Chucky, it's kind of taken it to where they're almost at an even playing field, where now he kind of is God, where he can be as many dolls as he wants to be, he can possess whatever he wants to, and then we dial it back in the Chucky series, where he's like, okay, now I have this crucifixion, cooties, basically. And so I want to know, like, I know voodoo wasn't always a unanimous decision early on, so what sort of changed to make it so that now Chucky is sort of elevated into being a voodoo master, kind of? And Brad, how has that changed how you perform him, since he does have these godlike powers now? He died, he went to hell, and he still was able to get back out there by using the blood.
I keep Chucky simple. I mean, really, I change Chucky scene by scene. I don't like go in and think this Chucky is going to be different. Except, of course, when I'm playing a bunch of different Chuckies. I'm, Brando Chucky. I'm the Hulk Chucky. I'm good Chucky. All these different Chuckies. But beyond that, and I think Brando Chucky wasn't like, having fun all the time because it's Brando,
That's who he is.
He can't have fun all the time.
Hurts, no.
So, I just do what Don tells me.
Not strictly true.
Thank you.
Oh, I was waiting for Dawn to answer that question.
Good.
Oh, I don't really. That's a hard question. I mean, really, all of that stuff in the TV show it came from. We're just constantly trying to do new things so we don't get repetitive. And I have long wanted to do and even separate from Chucky for a while. I was thinking I just wanted to do something about the White House being haunted, and so. Doing the TV show for 3 seasons, why don't I just put Chucky in the White House if we can do it? And that led to the idea of, because we wanted to have Brad in the show physically, so I thought if Chucky got killed and then the ghost of Charles Lee Ray haunting the White House, it was just a new, fun way to depict Chucky, which we're always looking for new ways to do that, whether it's Fiona getting possessed by him or Zach Arthur, who played Jake. Well, I thought he did a great job as Chucky. Brad tutored him a lot and got prepping him for that.
I thought Brad had looped that dialogue. It was so.
A lot of people thought that.
Yeah.
It was great.
No. I think I finished. It just really comes from wanting to present Chucky in new and interesting ways.
You did an excellent job. Thank you.
Thanks.
I don't know how I follow up that last guy. That was a great question. My question's for Brad and Fiona. Brad, what was it like for you watching Fiona play the young Charles Lee Ray?
Watching, I had a scene with her. I was. Do you know what ADR is? It's called Additional Dialogue Replacement, and basically it's for stuff you kind of like the sound isn't so good, so you go into a studio and you do it in a studio, and you say the lines and you lip sync with what was said before. So there's a lot of footage that you see flying by, and I saw this little sequence of me leaning against a bar and kind of getting up and walking forward, and I went, I don't remember doing that. And it was Fiona. So that was the first time I saw Fiona doing it, and I was shocked at how good it was. And then for some reason they had me replace her dialogue, which I just at times I felt really bad about doing it because it was, so much better than what I was doing. She can't take a compliment.
Yes. Yeah.
This is really a testament to our special effects makeup on the TV show. Do you remember the first and last names of everybody who did that makeup? Dawn can remember everything.
Francois Dagenet.
And oh my god, I also love this one.
Tennille,
What's Tennille's last name? Anyway, it was 4.5 hours of artists making me look like my dad. It was really done by them. But I thought it wasn't going to be a thing. I thought it was just this cool thing I get to do. And I remember in the test, at the end of it, I looked in the mirror and I was super uncomfortable in a way that like I was pretty surprised because I'm so grateful for the very real nepotism in my life. Like, but really, it's just this like incredible gift that I got, and it's also keeps giving. And anyway, I'm very lucky. This was like nepotism on steroids. I like couldn't. And I remember
It wasn't nepotism.
well, no, but a little bit, right? Also to like be,
No.
it's. I don't mean this in some complicated, self-deprecating way. It's like it's all things, right? I'm also talented. No, I'm serious. But to actually play my father and to not be able to get his face off your face because it's glued to you. I remember smoking a cigarette for the first time in like whatever. I tried to quit and it was like 4 months and I was like, I gotta have a cigarette. And then I FaceTimed you. Do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
And I FaceTimed my dad and he looks at me. Do you remember what you said?
No, I can't remember.
You were
What
like,
did I say?
you said, what's wrong with your face? And I was like, well, what do you think? I was like, who do I look like? And you were like, me? But yeah, I mean, it was just, this franchise just like keeps giving. It's just like such a weird, cool aspect of my life. And then you guys, I had to make out with Jennifer Tilly, roll around and kill a woman as my father. So I was like simulating sex as my dad, just the whole fucking thing. Anyway.
That had to be weird. Thank you so much.
All right, we have time for a few more questions.
I guess we're gonna let her get away.
No, but it's real. But anyway, yes.
It's not. Hold on. The answer to that is then I must have done played a nurse or a doctor at some point. You know, that's why the Pitt is why she got the job at the Pitt. Had absolutely nothing to do with her talent and how good an actress she is. Nothing at all. You can tell by the Pitt, right?
Okay, so my question has nothing to do with what I'm going to quickly thank you all for, but since you mentioned kissing Jennifer Tilly, I have to say thank you all for what you've done for the LGBT community in horror. We don't have a lot, and so seeing a franchise as big as Chucky represent that kind of stuff is really moving to me.
Oh, thank you. We love hearing that.
Thank you.
Honestly.
But anyway, my question is there a certain scene or voice line or anything like that that like really sticks out to you? When you think of Chucky, you just go back to that moment or that line.
This is sort of a variation of the other question.
I can ask something else if you want.
No, I'll take the challenge. Let's see. I mean, one of the things. Okay, just literally the thing that came into my head, so that's fair, right? In Seed of Chucky, Chucky has this big speech about how he doesn't want to be human, doesn't want to try to be human anymore. I'm Chucky the killer doll, and I dig it. And that whole speech was partly written by Brad, because like my first pass on it, he said like, this isn't quite working enough for me, and we like went outside. No, this was great. It was great. I mean, because that's like, I think one of the reasons the franchise has lasted as long as it has and is remained pretty good is the collaboration. And I love the collaboration. And I love working. These are all incredibly talented actors, and it's such a treat for a writer to get to write for them. So that whole speech where. And the first line you added was, "I don't want to be your chauffeur." Remember that?
No, but okay.
That's my answer, and it sounded good to me.
And he's sticking to it.
Thank you.
Your turn.
You got like an iconic scene.
Everybody has to come up with.
We only have
I already did my line. A scene. I like going on the elevator, and the woman says, "What an ugly doll," and it goes up, and this was just an impromptu thing. I just said, "Fuck you." I just loved it, because it came out of nowhere, and it really.
I also love when Chucky says to Kyle, "You goddamn women drivers."
I'm gonna make you feel really guilty, but I think it was the first time me and you were on camera together. We talk about all the therapy I need, but I was we were arguing both as the same person with the same face, but having an argument in the theater. I thought that was really cool. I was just like, this is an awesome life, man. And there was all these variations of you in the theater too. It was just dope.
Yeah, all the Chuckies from the whole TV series were in the movie theater,
and from everywhere,
and from the movies.
The Exorcist is my favorite horror movie of all time.
What?
So the whole Exorcist scene in that we did in season 2, we had to say the power of Christ compels you 40 million times. Over and over and over. But while we were doing it, you wrote a new line for that scene. I think probably the most scandalous line ever spoken in the Chucky franchise. Which I don't even want to say it. You gotta say it.
There's a baby here.
You know the line, your mother
sucks.
Yeah. and
then he says, but I'm not kidding.
She really's been busy.
Is.
Trying to think between breaking down and crying and in the first film, and Chucky is here and he's going to kill me. Or getting stabbed about 200 times in the face. Somewhere between those two. Got a favorite Chucky scene?
That scene that you did, Chucky's here to kill me, made me cry. But what came to mind when you asked the question was the simple "I want to play." I have 3 small children, so they often ask if I want to play. That would be my answer.
Well, thank you all so much.
Thank you.
So we're technically at time, but let's sneak in with one more question. Is that okay? All right. This is
Okay, this is kind of a hard question, but it's like a general question. Which Chucky kill from the franchise is your personal favorite?
I like the Jennifer Tilly voodoo kill. I think the voodoo kill is really great.
Oh, of Nia Vardalos.
Yes, I do. The potato peeler on the hand was next level. Before that, I liked the killing of Bree falling onto Junior's car. That's pretty intense. Giving you times to think. Come up with something.
Kind of a hard question. Sorry.
The Bree
I was riffing here.
You're the next.
Go, Alex.
The Bree one was also one of my favorites. From the second film, watching Miss Kettlewell get killed with a ruler. Yeah, but I also I still can't get over Kenan Thompson's death.
Which one was that?
Umbrella.
With the umbrella. That kill was not my idea. That was the idea of one of our writers in the writers' room. Her name is Amanda Blanchard, and she pitched that, and I went, "Oh my god, that's like one of the greatest kills ever in the franchise." I loved it.
You're so sweet.
Throwing the electric. What was it? In the bathtub.
In the bathtub. That's one of my favorites too, with the bubbles.
Yeah. I just thought it was spectacular, and in the spirit of Chucky. I mean, if you're gonna kill your wife, have fun.
Have some style. And is that what we're leaving the audience with? If you're gonna kill your wife, have some fun with it.
Yeah, my answer would be the scene where they put the electrical thing on his head in the Dr. Web.
Oh, that is great.
Yeah, I remember watching that be filmed and being like, "Oh my, that looks really real." So I think that would be my favorite.
I think
in a
Andrew was
sick way.
happy when that happened too.
Yeah.
It's not very nice to
Yeah,
It's also
get
one.
away.
It's also one of the best shots of Chucky, I think, in the entire franchise. When the cutaway to Chucky going.
I'm probably bathtub too, but what about you? What's your favorite?
Oh my gosh.
See, it's hard.
See, it's hard.
Sorry,
See?
I didn't even think about it.
You want to try getting up here and
Yeah.
Oh, no. I can't even think. I love all of them, honestly. So
That's not an answer.
Dishwasher. Dishwasher. That's a good one. Yeah, the new Evil Dead movie seems to have swiped that from us. It's in the trailer.
I auditioned for that and really wanted it. I wanted it so bad I put so many tips together, but I did not.
They're lost.
Well, thank you guys so much for your questions. Thank you guys so much for being here. And I know I can collectively speak for all of us when I say we were so excited to see what the future holds. So thank you guys so much again. One more time, everybody.